The Baltimore Ravens got an absolute steal in Malaki Starks out of Georgia in the first round. PFF's number 8 overall player on their board falls to pick number 27, where the Ravens do what they do best and take the best player available year in and year out, which is why they are a playoff team, competitive every single year with a top-tier front office organization. Eric DeCosta, who studied under the Hall of Fame general manager Ozzie Newsome for years and years, is now doing the same type of things. We got the top reactions from guys like Gerald McCoy, Pat McAfee, Eric DeCosta himself, and others. We're going to show you some clips, some reactions, some top stats, everything you need to know about Georgia Bulldogs safety Malaki Starks. We're also going to have our other top prospects the Ravens could be targeting here very shortly. So make sure you got your subscribe and notification bell on so you don't miss any Baltimore Ravens news, content, draft reactions, off-season stuff, training camp, all the way through the season. Man, we got you covered here. First of all, biggest steals from day one, according to PFF, offensive tackle Josh Simmons from the Chiefs. And then next up here is safety Malaki Starks. The Baltimore Ravens getting him at pick number 27. Ravens general manager Eric DeCosta revealed that this was one of the most impressive interviews they've ever had with a prospect at the Combine. Here's what he had to say.
I just think it was remarkable, the way that he could discuss football, his awareness, his ability to call out the plays from their defense before we even showed the plays, just based on formation. His ability to dissect and talk about what happened in any given play and to know what his teammates were doing in any given play. I mean, it was like he was a coach. And, when he got up, we just were all kind of like looking at each other, and we use a grading scale. We grade every interview, and a 7 is the best, and across the board he got straight 7s. Mm-hmm. So it was just super impressive. I haven't seen that type of detail in a long time.
Before we show you what Jared McCoy had to say, the bold statement that he let loose on national television, here's a couple of key stats here. Led Georgia with a career-high 77 tackles in 2024. I don't know about you guys, but you got to be instinctive and around the ball a lot to get 77 tackles in college football, to lead your team in tackles as a safety and not like a linebacker. Not to mention he was playing a lot of slot corner, nickel DB because of injuries on that defense. He was calling plays. He's a leader. He's well respected. He's got the connection with Georgia Bulldogs, Roquan Smith. He's a 2-time AP All-American safety. We got a 2-time Jim Thorpe Award finalist and 2024 second-team All-SEC. And 468 coverage snaps, only allowed 1 touchdown. Chris Sims says Malaki Starks is a Ravens-type player, free safety, ball hawk for sure, nickel ability too. Recognition of plays is where he's special, man. That's what the Ravens defense needed more of. Man, is just more instinctive players that feel the game. Like guys like Kyle Hamilton. Now you have another safety, another playmaker in the back end of that defense to really cause havoc. Here's what Pat McAfee and Peter Schrager had to say the initial reaction on draft night.
Select Malaki Starks.
Let's go.
All right.
Yep, there you go.
Defensive back, Georgia.
Good call.
Okay, so let's go down to the draft cave. Tone, Malaki Starks comes to the AFC North. We just talked about it. Perfect culture fit, seemingly.
Yeah, as a Steelers fan, I know the Ravens. I respect the Ravens. This is just a perfect Ravens fit. He started 14 games as a true freshman on their national championship team, and he's just so smart. He could do so many things. He had to play a little bit. You can see it right here. He had to play in the slot a little bit this year because of injuries. They're thinking in the NFL he's going to be more of a free safety type just because he called the defenses. He set the defenses. He can play anywhere in the secondary. He's a ball hawk. His ball skills are unbelievable. Yeah, he's a perfect Raven.
It's so cool. It's a great pick, and you look at what they got with Humphrey, obviously, but Kyle Hamilton, and Nick Emenwari out of South Carolina was the hot prospect at the Combine. He still might go in the first round, but everyone I spoke to was like, that's Combine stuff. It's great for February. Starks is like the guy. He is the safety, and Emenwari could be a great linebacker and safety in his own right, but this is the pick.
It's just popped right there.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a great suit. He's swagged out, going to Baltimore. What a culture, what a locker room. Some of those plays you're watching on the highlight make you excited.
Yeah, and Trey just mentioned it. You got so many guys in that secondary now with position versatility, with Humphrey, with Kyle Hamilton. This guy fits right in. His ball skills, his, once again, spatial awareness and confidence. Like, to be in that slot as a safety and then not only be in position, but get that head around and then high point the ball. Like, that's teach tape. That's an individual drill. For him to rep that in a high leverage game is unbelievable. And he's played in big time games since the moment he stepped on to Athens. So I love everything about this pick. This has Chuck Pagano written all over it.
Yeah, Chuck's going to get Grady with him, hands on. Good dap with Roger Goodell. He picked up Roger Goodell.
Nice.
He carried Roger Goodell. We went chest to chest, picked up and moved him from one side of the stage to the other. He is excited to be a Raven, and I love that Goodell is pumped for him as well. Adding a great safety, especially somebody that's not scared, or DB, somebody that's not scared. Big-time player. SEC. He's played against a lot of dogs in the wide receiver. He's played in a lot of big games.
Yes.
I think that's a big deal for a DB. Don't you think so, Coach?
Big time. A lot of pelts on the wall. I mean, you love his tenacity. We're talking about the high point on the interception. Yeah. That's big time football. Once again, great fit.
So they were fired up to see Malaki Starks in the purple and black. Man, it's going to look good. Malaki and Kyle and our Darius Washington, Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, Roman, the secondary back there is going to be a lot of fun. Now, here's what the bold statement from Jared McCoy was. Not only does he think he's the best safety, but the best defender in this entire draft. Here's what he had to say.
But, boy, we had 10 defensive linemen, Gerald, go in this draft, in this first round. What was your favorite overall defensive player fit, though?
My favorite overall defensive player is who I believe is the best defensive player in the entire draft.
Who's that?
Malaki Starks.
Ooh.
You partner him with Kyle Hamilton in Baltimore. Well, Lamar Jackson has been phenomenal. He's been generational. They got Derrick Henry. We talk about this offense, and everybody's like, they need a first-round wide receiver. This organization, Steve, is built on defense. That's what they are built on. It does not matter what they're doing offensively. This organization is built on defense. You add a Malaki Starks, you are right back in the mix, being right at the top of the defense. They have a lot of great passers in the AFC. This guy is a ball hawk. He can play man-to-man. He can play in zone. And if he gets beat, he can run you down. This is the best defensive pick in the first round. Malaki Starks, man, this dude is amazing.
Another guy with big-time ball skills, too.
Absolutely.
See some of those highlights of him with those interceptions.
Yeah, Baltimore, they won for sure.
With acceleration and what he brings to the table. Look, he's spitting the run game and everything.
Oh, yeah.
With Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, he does it all.
They became really...
And I also think those two can be interchangeable, too.
Absolutely.
He can play down in the slot as well as Kyle Hamilton can play back. A lot of times, Baltimore had to put him in the box because Marcus Williams wasn't that good down there. He had to be the back safety. You got two guys that can go. That's special.
So another defender goes to the Baltimore Ravens there at 27.
By the way, Malaki Starks was one of the few defenders that could ever actually go toe-to-toe with Brock Bowers in college football and, actually give him problems. I think he's going to be really good at covering tight ends and covering those bigger slot receivers that the Ravens are going to have to go man-to-man with in big-time moments in the passing game. We know there's some teams in the conference with some really good tight ends that Malaki Starks can help to slow down. And then not only that, they can put him in a split field coverage. He's instinctive. He's athletic. And I think he's just a perfect fit for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the other thing that's really exciting is the fact that the new secondary coach and Chuck Pagano is going to have his hands all over his new safety prospect. And that's exciting. Chuck Pagano is a very, very smart coach that can really relate to the players. And you could just see the excitement from Malaki whenever he was drafted. When he came out there on the stage, he was fired up, man. So we're going to have some more draft content for you very shortly. Smash the like button if you got any value at today's content. I love you guys. Appreciate y'all, and we'll see you in the next video.
when he wasn't looking, he ran me over.